Hi, welcome back to another edition of Jamin through the Bible. And today we're going to be reading Leviticus chapter 8. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to read chapter 8. I'm going to end the Bible, and then I will start a second video reading the study notes, as I'm having difficulty with the space on this phone. And I've tried deleting a bunch of pictures and videos that I've had on my phone, trying to make space. Doesn't seem to work. So I have no choice but to do it this way, to separate the study notes from the chapter reading. But before we do that, I wanted to read real quick the definition, because it says instructions for the priests, Aaron and his sons, consecrated. What does the word consecrated mean? I'm glad you asked, because I have the dictionary. It says, dedicated to a sacred purpose. To induct a person into a permanent office with a religious rite, spelled R-I-T-E. To ordain to the office of bishop. To make or declare sacred. To devote irrevocably to the worship of God by a solemn ceremony. To devote to purpose with as if with deep solemnity or dedication. Yeah, so there it is. Consecration. The act or ceremony of consecrating, the state of being consecrated, the part of a communion rite, again R-I-T-E, in which the bread and wine are consecrated. Consecration. So there it is. That's the word. That's the definition of consecration. Consecrate. Here we go. Chapter 8, verse 1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take Aaron and his sons with him. And the garments and the anointing oil, a bowl as the sin offering, as 2 rams and a basket of unleavened bread, and gather all the congregation together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was gathered together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And Moses said to the congregation, this is what the Lord commanded me to be done. Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. And he put the tunic on him, girded him with the sash, clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him. And he girded him with the intricately woven band of the ephod, and with it tied the ephod on him. Then he put the breastplate on him, and he put the Urim and the Thummim and the breastplate, and he put the turban on his head. Also on the turban, on its front, he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Also Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, to consecrate them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him to consecrate him. Then Moses brought Aaron's sons and put tunics on them, girded them with sashes, and put hats on them, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he brought the bull for the sin offering. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the bull for the sin offering, and Moses killed it. Then he took the blood and put some on the horns of the altar, all around with his finger, and purified the altar. And he poured the blood at the base of the altar, and consecrated it to make atonement for it. Then he took all the fat that was on the eternals, the fatty lobe attached to liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses burned them on the altar. But the bull, its hide, its flesh, and its offal, which is spelled Offal, he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he brought the ram as the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it. Then he sprinkled the blood all around the altar, and he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burned the head, the pieces, and the fat. And then he washed the internals and the legs in the water, and Moses burned the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt offering, a burnt sacrifice, for a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 22, and he brought the second ram, the ram of consecration. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it. Also he took some of its blood, and he put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Then he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood all around the altar. And then he took the fat and the fat tail, all the fat that was on the internals, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And from the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, a cake of bread anointed with oil, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and on the right hand, and on the right thigh, And he put all these in Aaron's hands and his sons' hands, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from the hands and burned them on the altar, on the burnt offering. They were consecration offerings for a sweet aroma. That was an offering made by fire to the Lord. And Moses took the breast and waved it as a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' part of the ram of consecration, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood which was on the altar, to sprinkle it on Aaron, on his garments, on his sons, and on the garments of his sons with him. And he consecrated Aaron, his garments, his sons, and the garments of his sons with him. Verse 31. And Moses said to Aaron and his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and eat it there with the bread that is in the basket of consecration offerings, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. What remains of the flesh and of the bread you shall burn with fire, and you shall not go outside the door of the tabernacle of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your consecration are ended. For 7 days he shall consecrate you. He referring to God, by the way. He shall consecrate you. Verse 34. As he has done this day, so the Lord has commanded to do, to make atonement for you. Therefore you shall stay at the door of the tabernacle of meeting day and night for 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, so that you may not die. For so I have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord had commanded by the hands of Moses. And that ends chapter 8. I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to start a second one shortly for the study notes. Just for the study notes, so it'll be really short.